Welcome back to the workshop, and welcome to episode 2 of How to Make Money Sharpening Knives. In this episode, I'll talk with Grizz and Tana of Elgin, Texas. They have an awesome story about how they got started sharpening knives. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss the story. Well, thanks Grizz and Tana for joining us. Grizz and Tana are joining us from Elgin, Texas, outside of Austin. And from their knife shop, the To the Point Blade Shop. Is that what you technically call it?
To the Point Blade Sharpening and Sales, technically.
Grizz, I guess both of you, this is your story together, but you have quite the story as far as getting into sharpening and quickly getting into sharpening for money. That makes it sound like it's maybe a different sort of trade, but sharpening for money as a business, at first a side hustle, turned into a full-on shop now. An incredible story. Walk us through the short version of that.
It kind of started, we had decided to make a life change. We sold our house, we quit our corporate jobs, we bought an RV, decided we wanted to travel. Grizz kind of got a brilliant idea just by flipping through a catalog and coming upon a edition sharpener that he thought, you know what, I could buy one of those and just kind of sharpen knives along the way, make a little bit of money. He always says he wanted to sharpen for beer and concert money. So he did that. We just kind of had it as a tool with us in the RV. My dad happened to teach him how to put an edge on a knife by using stones. So he had that skill as well. And then we set off on our trip, and the workshop was just kind of tucked away. And then we traveled for a couple of months. We got here to, just outside of Elgin, a little city called Bastrop. And I started a little craft booth. No one bought my crafts, but everyone came to watch him sharpen knives on the workshop. And that truly is how it all started. One of the restaurants came out and said, hey, here's our knives. Can you sharpen them real quick? And so then he just kind of got an idea like, hey, I could drive around, see who else needs my service. And that was it.
Bought a little motorcycle and put about 20-something thousand miles on a motorcycle with a workshop and some knives in a backpack.
So I guess what would a recommendation be for where to start? So restaurants being one of those, but is there another, maybe a secret type of place that you're like, wow, I had no idea this industry has a very significant need for sharpening?
If you wanted to if somebody were just starting out and wanted to get a simple flyer and just go door to door, I expect every house has at least 10 knives in it. And I expect 9 out of 10 houses have dull knives.
Yeah, if not more.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the name of the game for Grizz, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think the name of the game for Grizz truly was beating down the door. But he has no fear, no anger, so it's not any issue for him. But he would literally we would get like on a Google map, and he would write down every restaurant on his path, and he would just go stop, 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 and just talk. He got a lot of no's, but he got yeses, and
a lot of good food along the way, and some beers and meeting and shaking hands with some interesting people, and the stories of the knife, if you will.
Take me from the motorcycle riding days, dragging a workshop around, to where you're at now, and maybe just some of the lessons you've learned along the way.
Well, I happened to stumble into a feed store in Bastrop and asked if I could put a sign up on the wall, and they suggested sure. Not a problem at all. The next thing you know, people are walking in the door, bringing items in. Can I get them sharpened here? And they allowed me to come up there and pick up and drop off. That became so abundant. They said, why don't you just take a room in the back there? Let's work out a percentage or a payment. And I was there for 5 years exactly.
Wow.
So yeah. And once I got into the shop, it was really hard to get away from there, because now I have hours I have to be there and I'm expected to be in the shop. So the motorcycle just kind of unfortunately went to the wayside, and sold that. But I'd like to be out on the road again, but I need to be in the shop making sure that everything's being sharpened properly until we can get the right crew in place. And but I'd love to get on the road again with this.
That's very interesting that they made a special position for you, I guess, as a, I mean, so you were a, I guess you probably would have been like a contractor for the feed store.
No, just a renter. I rented some space in the back,
Oh,
and yeah, just it was a tin box in the. It was like a small garage behind the feed store.
yeah.
No heating and insulation, very little electrical. Next thing you know, our sharpening turned into knife sales, turned into knife supplies. So then when we got our steel orders in, I needed an air conditioner and some insulation, and
Yeah.
then it started to feel like a fully functional shop,
Yeah.
without having rain leaking on the side of the walls and all that good stuff. So yeah, 5 years was great to us there. And then fortunately, we got a phone call and someone suggested, "Hey, come take a look at the building we have here on Main Street and First in Elgin." And I'll tell you, I couldn't have dreamt of a greater location, a nicer location for us.
Right now, you sharpen, I mean, knives are probably a small portion of what you sharpen. You sharpen a lot of tools, and you were just talking to me about a drill sharpener. And yeah, what is the breakdown? What do you sharpen a lot of?
Knives, sure. Knives are a steady flow. Clipper blades for the veterinarian grooming.
Hmm.
We're doing chisels for woodworkers and leather workers, leather crafting
Hmm.
tools. What else are we doing?
Circular saw blades.
Yeah, carbide tip saw blades now. That's a nice addition for us. That's new. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. What do you use
Uh,
for the saw blades?
I've got 80-year-old machinery that I picked up at a reasonable rate and spent months refurbishing,
Wow.
and we've got them back to, well, they don't look brand new, but they operate brand new, like brand new, and we've got new wheels and all the equipment that it takes to perform that task, and pretty excited about it. Um, Easily excitable, I guess, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a long time in the making, and yeah, and hair shears, we're doing those as well now. So I was
Mhm.
recently trained by a gentleman that came here from San Antonio and sat down with me and said, "Here's what you do," and let me run with that. And sure enough, that I'm sharpening those now.
Is that a flat? Do you disassemble them and set the blade flat on either a ceramic or a fine diamond and kind of work
Yep,
that?
yep. Your stones, you've got some good flat stones, and you definitely want to keep them flat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's for the ride line. But then you also have there's a machine that you put the blade sideways so you can get your convex.
Flat one.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's interesting. There are some steps to doing the hair shears for sure, and you definitely want to be careful. I've always been of the mindset early on when I first started, and I was really green at doing this. So $4 seemed like a fair price. People will walk up, sure enough, and have a $4 and a knife and want a sharp edge. But then quickly it went to five. Everybody has a $5 bill. Everybody has a knife either this long or say up to 10 or 12 inches.
Mm-hmm.
$5 is fine. If you bring something in over a foot, maybe add a couple of bucks.
Mm-hmm.
There are services out there that will charge you, 3 times what we're charging, and throw in free shipping and all of that hoopla. Hey, send it to us and pay your own shipping, and you'll still save a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And again, you want to make sure somebody's doing the proper service to the proper knife. So if somebody brings in a standard kitchen knife from a restaurant, I'll do a $5 edge all day long on those. But if you bring me a Bob Kramer, or a Ken Onion,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna need to talk about some price now.
Yeah.
So really, I think that an edge on those higher end knives, I'll charge $15 for, say, a 10, 12-inch kitchen knife that requires a fine-tuned edge.
What's your current setup to get that job done? Do you have a standard for most knives? It sounds like you might sharpen something like a Bob Kramer with a little bit more, probably not more care, but maybe a higher level of refinement. What's your go-to setup?
I've got a number of systems. I've got
What's
uh,
your everyday?
everyday system. I would say sure, the razor sharp, the cardboard wheel system, if you're familiar with
Mm-hmm.
those.
Mm-hmm.
We actually carry those in the shop here, and I stand by them. Um, let me say that I would do the standard kitchen knives on the Bob Kramer. We have a wicked edge that we can do. You know, some of those fine-tuned diamond edges, if you've got a wobbly hand, the wicked edge will take that off. And as you know now, and I'm getting ready to play with the new adjustable work sharp, so I want to get some time on that too. But one thing I would definitely recommend to knife sharpeners is definitely grab a whole bunch of systems. Learn how to put a bevel, learn how to get a burr, learn how to remove the burr safely without damaging grandpa's knife or you know, whatever it might be.
You mentioned shipping. Do you have a decent amount of business that is not local to you there, that's shipped in from elsewhere?
Yeah, you know, we do get shipments from all over the country. Refurbish, we do some refurbished stuff. Clipper blades from different vets.
I said clipper blades are probably the heaviest items that come in through shipping.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You built up a little bit of a niche there with mostly veterinary clippers, or?
Yeah, veterinary grooming. You know, I get the mom and pop that come in here and they do their own pet grooming. So they'll bring their 3 and 4 sets in, and yeah, they're grateful to not have to go out and spend $35-$45 on a new set.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's the goal as a sharpener. You definitely want to save people money. If you're not saving money, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because they can just go out and buy a brand new knife or a brand new set of clippers any day of the week. Save them money and do it right.
Well, Grizz and Tana, thank you very much for your time with us and for sharing the story that you guys have. Again, what a cool story. If you happen to be in the Elgin, Texas area, or as Grizz and Tana both mentioned, they accept shipped in orders. You can find them at their website, ttpsharp, as in to the point sharp.com, and find out all their information there. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you guys for watching, and thank you Grizz and Tana for sharing your story and sharing some tips with us. In the next episode of How to Make Money Sharpening Knives, I'll chat with Matt Rowell, who has his own sharpening business and also started the Guild of Professional Sharpeners. He offers some great tips for how you could get started sharpening knives and making a little money.